in the industry, writers, journalists, like real journalists, not these bloggers that we see on YouTube that you guys follow, like real journalists that went to school for this stuff, wrote this man off.
All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick's on the Power. So welcome to another episode of Nick's Strength and Vlogs. I hope you guys are enjoying this channel so far, and thank you guys again for coming over here to subscribe and liking these videos. It really helps me out a lot, and it really means the world to me. This channel is actually not monetized right now, so this video and all the other videos on this channel are not making any money. The only goal of this channel is to give you guys vlogs and bonus content like this, reacting to things that I normally wouldn't make videos about on my other channel. So this particular video is going to be about a comment that Phil Heath made at the 2019 Arnold Classic Showcase of Champions. So that was the Sunday morning showcase where Arnold interviews past Olympia winners, past Arnold Classic winners, and they all kind of have this panel discussion on stage. It was like a 5-hour, 6-hour long event. And during that event, Phil Heath made the comment that you saw in the beginning of this video. So I wanted to react to this because I've seen Phil Heath make this comment in particular several different occasions. I've seen him make it on Generation Iron. I've seen him do it on Dave Palumbo's show. I've seen him do it on MD's radio show. So really, he's gone on with all these other news outlets besides me. So basically every bodybuilding channel besides Nick's Strength and Power. So all these other guys are YouTube based as well. That's their main platform. But he goes out of his way to make this comment, and he says, I'm talking about real journalists, not some guy on YouTube. Guys that went to school for journalism. And again, you know, these guys at MD, RX Muscle, Generation Iron, none of these guys have a degree in journalism. So I briefly touched on this in my last video, that I don't think you need a degree to be a journalist, and that I do consider myself a journalist, a bodybuilding journalist in specific. And that's the one comment that kind of gets under my skin that Phil Heath continues to make, is when he just kind of throws these low shots trying to say I'm not a journalist. And the fact that he still continues to say this months after the fact. I mean, it's been months since we had the drama situation with the potential lawsuit or whatever, which I'm not going to touch on in this video, but nothing really ever came of that. So it does appear that Phil Heath still has some bad blood directed at me and doesn't really like me, which I guess is understandable. He doesn't have to like me, but I think he does have to accept the fact that my channel is here to stay. I'm here to stay. And as far as bodybuilding media goes, the bodybuilding media world isn't really that big. You've got maybe a handful of guys, including my channel, that cover bodybuilding on a daily basis, consistently posting videos, commentary, pictures, updates, the whole 9 yards. There's only a handful of guys that do that, and out of those guys, my channel is the biggest that does that. So I'm not going anywhere, and even if my channel ever went away, I would still be here going to shows and covering these shows and meeting these guys. So, you know, my comment for Phil Heath and my reaction to that clip is, number one, I do believe I'm a journalist. I do what a journalist does. I provide commentary. I give, you know, news updates. I interview people, and breaking the news, I would say, is the number one, you know, part of being a journalist. And I don't think you need to go to school to do that. So I do consider myself a journalist. And unfortunately, over the course of the Arnold Classic weekend, Phil Heath was pretty much the only person that I never ran into at the expo, backstage, at the athletes meeting. I never saw Phil Heath one single time over the course of the entire weekend, and I actually would have liked to, because I felt like this weekend I got the opportunity to kind of network and meet a lot of people in the industry, and they all seemed to have very, very kind things to say about my channel, and that really meant the world to me. But Phil Heath was the one guy that I haven't had the opportunity to talk to since we had that problem back in October. So Phil Heath is watching this. I just wanted to say, you know, despite the comments that he's made about me in the past, that he made about me at that Sunday showcase, if there's any way that we could come to a resolution at one of these expos and meet up and just talk, it doesn't have to be on camera, it can be off camera. He can talk about his problem with me. I don't have a problem with him, to be honest with you guys. You know, my only criticism of Phil Heath has been the gut that he has on stage. I think all of you guys would agree with me that Phil Heath has had a severe problem with his midsection. And I think really, you know, the whole lawsuit thing was one reason, but I think the main reason that Phil doesn't like me is because I've driven that point home so many times about the quote-unquote bubble gut, which I don't like to use that term, but I've driven that point so many times about Phil Heath in particular, and I just think that Phil Heath doesn't really like that criticism that I've been giving him. So my message to Phil Heath would be, if we ever see each other at one of these expos, just to talk to me off camera and get to know me and get to know each other, because I think I'm going to be around for a while and I don't plan on going anywhere, no matter how many times someone says you're not a journalist. So that's my reaction to the clip of Phil Heath. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed already. Again, this channel is not monetized, so it's not getting pushed out like a monetized channel would in the recommendations and all that sort of thing. So I'm really relying on you guys that are hardcore fans, hardcore subscribers, to make sure when you see these videos, you watch them, because YouTube is not going to be pushing these out because YouTube isn't making any money off of them. That's how YouTube works. So again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.
In the industry, writers, journalists, like real journalists, not these bloggers that we see on YouTube that you guys follow. Like real journalists that went to school for this stuff, wrote this man off.